Good. I wanted to ask some rivalry trivia.
Ooh, okay.
That you have personal ties to two of these people. 25 years ago, UCLA walloped SC at the Rose Bowl. Who was the star that day?
25 years ago.
1998.
Deshaun Foster.
4 touchdowns.
Yes.
Who was UCLA's defensive coordinator?
Nick Galeotti.
Excellent, 2 for 2. And on the last play of the game, which I'm writing about this week, they were 34-17. Bob Toledo called a naked bootleg. Cade rolled out, ran for 23 yards. SC was really not happy about.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever call a naked bootleg?
I have not been in that situation. I mean, we scored. We've been up. I've never been that kind of guy. You know, we scored late last year, but it was with Ethan 2 years ago down there, with Ethan Fernea, who was our third string, unbelievable special teams player, actually playing for the Colts right now. He bounced one and took off to put it to 62. But I've never been that type of guy in those games. You just, rivalry games are intriguing. You just want to win them, and that's the main goal, but not trying to rub people's faces in it or any of that. I don't get into that kind of thing. I've never gotten into that kind of thing, but I can see where people can get that feeling.
We talked about Caleb Williams earlier in the week.
Is he hurt?
No.
You got to give me some more information.
Nothing on that. I'm hoping that you can give me some information.
No, I don't know. I don't know if he's hurt. I just know he's it's interesting because I don't think there's ever been a 2-time Heisman Trophy winner since Archie Griffin. But his numbers are staggering, and when you watch that guy on film, you can't tell me that there's a better player in the country than him. I haven't seen him. I'm just, and I think sometimes you get into he won it last year, so let's give it to somebody else. But if the award's supposed to go to the best player in the country, that kid is as good a football player as I've had the opportunity to coach against. I've coached against Andrew Luck, and Andrew Luck was the number 1 pick in the draft, and Andrew Luck was a truly special player both at the collegiate level and the college level, and to me, Caleb is in the same category as Andrew Luck.
What have you seen from the rest of the offense on film?
They're dynamic. They have so many different weapons at the receiver spots. Taj Washington, Brendan Rice, Singer, Zachariah Branch. I mean, they got some guys who can run. Juice Robinson's starting to contribute from a little bit. I think the running back they took from South Carolina, Marshawn Lloyd, is a really good player. And Lincoln does such a good job offensively of spreading you out and attacking kind of if you spread out, but you didn't spread out in the right way. And Caleb's got such a great feel for that system. I think there's some things that he's allowed to do at the line of scrimmage just because I think he's been with Lincoln so long. So that's what makes it difficult. When you get to play against guys that have been there for a while, you may be able to fool them when they're younger guys, but not when they're older guys. So they're gonna stretch us to the sidelines and try to get their players in one-on-one situations, and we have to be really, really good tackling in the open field because they got some dynamic kids when they get the ball in their hands that can turn a 6-yard catch into a big play. So that's kind of been our focus all week long on defense, is rallying to the ball and tackling and getting as many guys as we can to the football.
Coach Sanders yesterday said he wanted leniency for the recruits accused of taking stuff from the locker room at the Rose Bowl. Do you agree with that? And also, can you clarify how many of them were UCLA unofficial recruits?
I don't have all that information, Ben. I don't. So I don't know how many it was. I talked to the head coach of the school. Actually, he called me and expressed his remorse and disappointment and all that, but I don't have all the facts right now, so I could comment on that. But
what about the leniency of what Coach Sanders said? He said this basically shouldn't win their lives.
Yeah, I think any mistake at that age, I think it's a very valuable lesson for them to learn. But I don't think it. I'm in 100% agreement with Dion that this shouldn't ruin their lives. So, you got to let the judicial system take its course. But to ruin their lives, no. I'm in 100% agreement with Dion on that.
When you have unofficial visitors, are they allowed to just kind of roam about, or are they actually?
I don't know and that's a great question. To that game, we had a lot of kids. Finding out exactly what the protocols are. I know they're all, and it's a Rose Bowl deal, they're all badged up, so how do they get into different places, whether it be our locker room or their locker room. You know, I think they're still trying to get to the bottom of that, of how that occurred. But I don't have the specifics on that.
Given the USC struggles on defense, how much more important does it make chunk plays and those explosive plays for your offense?
I think sustaining drives is the key. So, you know, there's times you make a chunk play and then you go 3 and out after you make the chunk play. So, you know, the key, I think, is really being consistent and sustaining drives. The teams that have had success offensively have sustained drives on them. They have really good team speed on defense, so I think if a play breaks, they have the ability to chase some things down. But then you need to come up and get another big play. You know, so I think the consistency part of it is really the key, you know, so that you're trying to stay on schedule. You don't want to get behind the stakes in terms of, you know, there's a lot of third and long situations because they do have some exotic blitz packages on third down. You want to try to keep them out of the long packages and try to keep them in shorts and mediums. If you can do that, then you're on schedule. And if you're on schedule, then hopefully that's what's working for you. Now, it doesn't mean we don't like chunk plays. You know, we'll take them. But I don't think the game plan going is in trying to get chunks. It's trying to be really consistent in terms of being able to drive the football on them.
We're watching Ethan the last couple of days. He looks like he's moving much better. Do you agree with that? And where is he right now?
Ethan is moving better, and I think he's trained really well Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Today will be Wednesday, but excited about where he is right now, and I think you're 100% accurate in your evaluation.
How about Gary Smith? Is he out this week?
Gary Smith is unavailable right now, yeah.
D'Anton Lynn was listed as a nominee for the Broyles Award.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just talk about the growth, what you've seen from D'Anton Lynn over the past year or so?
Yeah, I mean,
months?
I think Dan's outstanding, you know, and he's, I say it all the time, but it is, he's really poised, he's very detailed, he has a plan for, and has really gotten our guys to execute the plan. You know, he's really moved this defense in a real positive direction, and I think, but his way about him, how he teaches in the meeting rooms, how he meets with what he does in one-on-ones, how he communicates what he wants done. I think he's outstanding, and we're real fortunate, and he deserves to be, you know, nominated for Assistant Coach of the Year because I think he's done a heck of a job. I'm sorry.
How's Colin progressing, and what's his status for today?
Colin will be available today. I don't know. This will be the first day. He was not available Monday, Tuesday, so we'll see what goes on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday before we make any determinations on Colin.
Did Coach Donahue ever pass along any special message to you about the rivalry or what it meant to him?
Yeah, TD was the best. And every first time I met with him, he's like, "You got to beat your rival." And then he smiled at me and said, "I was 10-9." But it's the uniqueness of the rivalry, as I think, is the closeness of the two schools, and there's no situation like this anywhere else in the country. It's 13, 14 miles apart between the two universities. So, and there's so many kids on their team that played with our kids in high school. Or when you go back to it, even with Papuano, with the IE Ducks and some of the other teams going on, they grew up playing together. But then when they were in high school, they play together. And they get to college, they get to separate spots. So, you know, that's the uniqueness of the rivalry. And I know this was Terry's favorite week of the year. I used to talk to him all the time during this week. Miss him. But it's what makes this game special. And he had a great relationship with John Robinson and the guys he went against all the time, and it was a battle, and that's what it is every time you play this game.
Coach Red Sanders said it's not just life or death.
Yeah, we've seen that code.
Do you like that? Is that? I mean, obviously that's tongue in cheek, but
yeah, it's tongue in cheek, and I think everybody appreciates that. But it's like none other. You know, the cool part where each team wears their home jerseys. There's a uniqueness to it. It's college football, and I embrace all that. I love that part of it. You know what I mean? It's you know, and I've always been slighted before because I always talked about that every game's a rivalry and every game's a Super Bowl, and I truly believe that. You know, I don't think you can say, well, it's really important. Let's win this one game and go 1-11, but we beat our rival. Like, it doesn't work that way. But there is something significant, I think, to this one because of the proximity of the schools and really the closeness of the players that are involved in the game.
You obviously got Kyle Ford over on your side this year.
Mm-hmm.
When you think back, I mean, obviously this is hindsight, but when you think back to the way himself, J. Mike have been used this season, Do you think you could have gotten more production out of both of them?
I think we get more production out of everybody on offense. I don't think we're where we need to be on the offensive side of the ball. So that's every position. That's all of us, and that's our coaches putting those guys in positions to make plays. So, we're not where we've been offensively. We're a lot better defensively than we've been in the past, but I think we're 34th in total offense right now, and we've usually been close to the top 10. But you did lose an NFL quarterback, an NFL running back, an NFL wide receiver, 3 NFL offensive linemen. And we got to find the right combinations of getting guys set up front and continue to work in progress. But these guys, these players have been awesome. This team works as hard and as diligent as any team I've ever been around, and they show up every single day. They're extremely resilient, so they'll continue to grow and continue to get better. And I think each week you're going to continue to see progress with them.
And thinking back to what you said, I think it was late August, right when the season started. You said across the board, you thought you had the deepest team at all positions. Do you think that's still the case?
Yeah, we have. Our depth has been tested, but I think, especially at the quarterback spot, you played with the third quarterback last week, and I don't know how many teams can even line up a third quarterback, but that's part of the process. The one thing we didn't have before the season started was experience, So when you lose Jake and Zach and Dorian and Neo and Johnny and Raekwon and those guys, it's just the experience factor. But these kids, every day, the one thing about them is they continue to grow every single day, and that's the fun part. You love coming to work here every day just because of the mindset of the players. They're awesome. So, they'll continue to work and get better every day, and hopefully we're better this week than we were the week before, and that continues to grow that way.
And I know for Kyle, this one would obviously be important for him to participate in. How's he looking coming back?
Kyle Ford?
Yeah.
Kyle's been great. He's raring and ready to go. I told him the only thing for Kyle is, and I share this with a lot of our guys, is that play with emotion, don't let emotion play with you. And but he's been laser focused this week, and excited to see him play on Saturday. We're really excited to see him play today, because today is the most important day.
Good.
Good. Thanks, man.